Every knockout happens 3 moves before the punch lands. UFC striking isn't random, it's code. 6 striker types, 1 meta, and the champion type that broke the division rules. By the end of this video, you'll see every UFC fight differently. Let's start with the type that built an empire then disappeared. The hype architect doesn't just win fights, he rewrites the sport's economics. Conor McGregor is the blueprint. Core idea, star power through unpredictability. Here's the tell. Watch the stance. If it switches mid-pressure, the left is loading. McGregor built his empire on one weapon, making you guess wrong. Stance switch, lead hand low. Left hand sleeps you before you reset. The weapon is simple. Timing theft plus spectacle plus chaos. He doesn't need perfect technique. He needs you thinking wrong for 2 seconds. UFC 205 against Eddie Alvarez proves it. First round, drops him 3 times. Left hand, left hand, left hand. Becomes double champ. Madison Square Garden. History made, but here's the cost. 4 years since his last win. Broken leg against Poirier. Legal battles dragging into 2026. Targeting a comeback, but the contract's not signed and the body's 37 years old. Here's the tax. Time catches chaos. Structure beats spectacle. The left hand might still work, but the legs don't recover like they used to. And when chaos fades, you're left with what you always avoided: discipline. And if chaos is a comet, the next type is a scalpel. Because the precision punisher doesn't care about volume, he cares about tax per attempt. Precision punishers don't chase finishes, they tax mistakes. Israel Adesanya is the master. Core idea, damage per attempt, not volume. Here's the tell. Watch his hips. If they fake before his hands move, he's reading you. Every feint is evidence. When you react, that's when he fires. What it looks like. He invites entries. He reads patterns. He makes you pay once and you stop trying. He doesn't hurt you. He convinces you not to throw. The weapon removes confidence, makes the opponent tentative, wins the fight psychologically. Most strikers force action. Adesanya forces the mistake. UFC 287 is the perfect example. Fighting Alex Pereira in the rematch. Down on scorecards, Pereira's controlling the fight. Then, Adesanya reads 1 entry, lands 2 right hands. Pereira crumbles in round 2. Revenge complete. But 2025 has been brutal. 3 straight losses. Submitted by Duplessis. TKO'd by Imavov. Fighting Joe Pyfer. March 28th to save his career. Here's the tax. Pressure breaks vision. Crowd his space. He loses the read. He's on a skid. But champions built on timing don't vanish. They recalibrate. March 28th decides if the precision punisher still exists. And if precision is surgery, the next type is architecture. Because the systematic striker treats the cage like a game board where every move connects. Systematic strikers treat the cage like a chessboard. Sean O'Malley is the blueprint. Core idea, efficiency plus range control plus showmanship. Here's the tell. If he's circling without urgency, he's measuring. The shot's coming from an angle you won't see. What it looks like, distance governance. Feint, fire, reset, make it look effortless. Hands down, walk away before you hit the ground. The weapon is strike economy, creative angles, range manipulation. He doesn't overwhelm you. He architects openings you walk into. UFC 292 against Aljamain. Sterling proves it. Head kick drops Sterling. O'Malley walks off. Doesn't even watch him fall. New bantamweight champion. Made it look like target practice. Lost the belt twice to Merab. First by decision, September 2024. Then submitted June 2025. Fighting Song Yadong. January 24, 2026 at UFC 324. 2 straight losses. First time in his career. Here's the tax. Relentless pressure breaks the system. Can't measure if you're drowning. UFC 324 decides if Suga gets another title shot or fades into what could have been. The systematic striker needs space. Take it away and the math stops working. And if systems need space, the next type needs none, because the pressure engine doesn't build openings. It erases your ability to defend them. Pressure engines don't knock you out in round 1. They erase round 5. Max Holloway is the definition. Core idea, attritional volume as control. Here's the tell. If he's walking forward calmly in round 1, you're in trouble by round 4. What it looks like, touch, 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 forward pressure, no urgency, just inevitable drowning. The weapon is pace stacking, strike layering, mental erosion. He threw 445 strikes against Calvin Kattar, UFC record. He doesn't finish you fast. He makes quitting logical. UFC 300 is the perfect moment. Fighting Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt. Down on cards. 10 seconds left in the final round. Holloway points to the center of the cage. Both fighters meet. Max knocks him out cold with 1 second remaining. Then he says, "I'm the best boxer in the UFC, baby." That's a pressure engine. BMF champion. Beat Poirier, July 2025. First KO loss ever to Pereira, October 2024. Moved to lightweight permanently. Defending the BMF belt against Charles Oliveira, March 7, 2026 at UFC 326. Here's the tax. One clean counter collapses the engine. Timing stops pace. Max is 34 now. The engine still runs, but how much longer? UFC 326 proves if age touches the blessed era. And if pressure is a flood, the next type is lightning, because the violent specialist doesn't need rounds, he needs seconds. Violent specialists don't need 5 rounds. They need 5 seconds of hesitation. Alex Pereira is the example. Core idea, damage compression. One mistake equals permanent consequence. Here's the tell. Lead hand drops before movement. The left hook is loading. What it looks like, left hook, low kick, body shot. Each one compromises structure. The weapon is power loading, stance disruption, finish windows. He doesn't touch you 200 times. He touches you twice, and you remember forever. UFC 287 against Jamahal Hill proves it. Hill talks trash for weeks. Pereira waves off the ref after a low blow, stays calm, then flatlines Hill with a left hook 10 seconds later. 1 minute, 3 seconds of round 1. Stood over him, ice cold. Lost the light heavyweight belt to Ankalaev March 2025. Reclaimed it October 2025 with a first-round TKO, 2-time champ. Rumored heavyweight move. Possible Cyril Gane fight. Joe Rogan says he's 240 pounds and hits harder than anyone ever recorded. Here's the tax. 1 miss, 1 counter. Violence works both ways. At 37, coming off a loss and a redemption KO, Pereira's eyeing heavyweight history. The violent specialist might become a 3-division nightmare, but Father Time is undefeated and heavyweights hit back. Now here's the final boss, the type that can borrow from every style above and make you feel like every choice is wrong. This is what separates contenders from dynasty champions. The adapter doesn't impose one style, he deletes yours. Alexander Volkanovski is the example. Core idea, mid-fight evolution as a weapon. Here's the tell. Every round starts differently. If he's changing tactics mid-fight, you're in his lab. What it looks like, wins first minute of rounds. Tempo ownership, blends tools, feint to jab to angle to clinch touch to exit. Denies your best weapon before you even throw it. The weapon is tactical recalibration, reaction mapping, round-to-round adjustments. You can't surprise him. He's already seen it. UFC 266 against Brian Ortega proves it. Ortega nearly submits him with a guillotine in round 3. Volk survives. Comes back in round 4, systematically breaks Ortega down. Wins on scorecards. Never panicked once. Reclaimed the featherweight belt April 2025 at UFC 314 beating Diego Lopes. Became the oldest UFC featherweight champ at 36. Only the second fighter ever to reclaim the belt after losing it. Rematching Lopes February 1st, 2026 at UFC 325. Here's the tax. True chaos early. Unreadable violence that doesn't give time to adjust. This is the modern title formula. Not one weapon, not one style. Adapters who can become 5 different fighters in 25 minutes. So which type wins? Here's the brutal truth. The adapter beats everyone. Not because it's the most exciting, not because it hits hardest, but because it removes your win condition before you even know it's gone. The pressure engine drowns the hype architect because chaos needs space and pressure takes it away. The precision punisher beats the violent specialist because patience kills aggression when you can read the loading. The systematic striker loses to the pressure engine because you can't measure distance when someone's living in your chest. But the adapter, it becomes whatever kills you. But here's what separates good strikers from champions. The best don't live in one type. They blend them. Volkanovski can be an adapter, but he's got pressure engine cardio. Pereira is a violent specialist, but he's learning the precision punisher's patience. Adesanya can switch from timing thief to pace thief when opponents get passive. The ability to change types mid-fight is what separates champions from contenders. But here's the darker truth every striker learns eventually. None of these types matter if you're on your back for 15 minutes. Wrestling breaks rhythm, takedowns erase distance, and the cage becomes a prison where your hands can't save you. That's a different video. Every type of wrestler explained, and why strikers keep losing to them. Coming soon. Let's lock it in. Hype architect equals spectacle. Precision punisher equals tax. Systematic striker equals efficiency. Pressure engine equals inevitability. Violence specialist equals compression. Adapter equals evolution. 5 years ago, violent specialists won belts. 3 years ago, hype architects ruled. 2025, only adapters survive. Because the game evolved past single weapons. Pereira, Volkanovski, Makhachev across divisions. They all solve mid-fight. That's the modern champion. McGregor's coming back. Adesanya's on the brink. O'Malley needs redemption. Holloway's fighting age. Pereira's chasing history. Volkanovski's rewriting records. Comment your favorite striker. I'll tell you their type and the nightmare matchup that ends them. Because here's the truth. The scariest striker in the UFC isn't the hardest hitter. It's the one who can become whoever beats you.